Ready to stop making and losing the same $100 on a calf? Balance Forward is a cattle feeding management company that wants to create opportunities for mid-market cattlemen tied to the land in the central part of the United States who share the same vision and values. The success of Balance Forward stems from their ability to take what they have learned firsthand and apply it transparently to your business. Balance Forward takes a unique approach on managing the overall inventory for your client on cattle, corn, and feed.
Their consultative services, known as the Cattle Business Systems, is designed to help cattlemen with all aspects of their business, from corn procurement, buying feeder cattle, to internal position management. Cattle Business Systems will work with you to develop a customized plan to help your business grow and will continue to be a resource for you month after month. If you're ready for your cattle business to reach its highest potential, give Balance Forward a call at 712-785-3766 or visit www.balanceforward.com. That is BALANCE, the number 4, WARD.com.
You invest so much love into everything you do, but what about yourself? Like, are you taking the time to keep yourself around? Are you taking the time to, you're your longest commitment. If you're not around, who's going to do it? And that's the thing. A lot of people take life for granted sometimes. I feel like, we're too busy in the hustle and bustle of things, because as farmers, we're the biggest gamblers.
There is a podcast in Iowa, Farm4Profit was named by they. Fate stirred up a banker near, then quick came an auctioneer. Making profit was their first goal, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. These formats shook us to our core. With Farm4Fun, you will not snore. The banker set all mics to on, and the mullet of podcasts was born. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. Before we knew, conversations grew. Growing corn even said F you. So won't you join Tenor, Dave, Corey, and crew? Please like, share, review. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go.
Bush. Well, these headsets are great, except for I splash my glasses when I open the beer that close to the mic now.
And normally I think that click should be faster, but you're always real slow just so it doesn't spush all over your face.
Spush. Corey, spush all over your face.
That's the new word.
Bill and Bush at the same time.
Listeners, thank you for coming to the Farm4Profit podcast. This is Tanner.
This is Corey.
And this is David.
We appreciate you a ton. We can't say that enough. It was great seeing those that could come at the after party at the Farm Progress Show. We're going to do a lot more of those in a lot different towns so we can meet more of you. But if you want to talk to us between now and then, farm4profitllc@gmail.com, or shoot us a text, leave us a voicemail. Where do they do that, Dave?
Couple ways, but make sure you get the phone number down, guys. It's 515-207-9640.
All right. And they can leave us a review there. You can also do that on all of our other platforms. But we've got a listener review today. Always sponsored. Who's it sponsored by, Corey?
It's brought to you by Ag Leader, our friends just up the road, 8 miles in Ames, Iowa. Tell you what, it's their 30th anniversary. Can you believe that they are 30 years old?
No, I don't think I knew about them until they were 10.
Probably.
Isn't there only two main companies with cloud software for farming, Corey? John Deere and, would it be Ag Leader?
I don't know
I think they're the only ones.
I could talk. Probably.
Isn't Trimble? What's Trimble do?
They're GPS as well.
Okay. I know Ag Leader has one.
But the Ag Leader it says right in their name. They're the leader in the industry, and I love that they can work on anything, especially with the right spot spraying. Any sprayer, you can mount that up there, get the technology. Cart Ace, Corey, that goes into any grain cart tractor.
Yeah, and it's the cool thing about the Cart Ace is if you're already using Ag Leader, you don't have to buy any more equipment. It's already there. You can just, what is it, like $1,000, $1,200 unlock, and boom, you have an automated cart that anyone can drive.
If you wanted to this fall, you could do that.
Does it matter what color?
No. They're colorblind when it comes to brands.
Oh, okay.
Well, this next person's probably colorblind that left us this text, 515-554-78. Oh, just kidding. You still.
7800 would it be? 7800?
Right,
7800?
Yes. Traveled with coworkers this past week and a half that swore to putting a pickle spear in their beer was the way to go. Apparently, It's a North Dakota thing. Love your show. Little did they know, Corey, that the episode we're introducing people to today with Farm Fit Mama, we put a pickle in our beer.
It wasn't a pickle spear. It was like one of the mini pickles.
Yeah.
But it was good. And some juice.
And some juice. No, that was really good. But before we get into that, in our last commercial before the show, what are we going to do today here during our intro?
So continuing the series of mixing stuff with Busch Light, Tanner brought me some Dunkin' iced coffee, French vanilla, creamy and smooth. This is something I would never be caught buying. I'm not an iced coffee fan. I like coffee. And it's probably good. I just don't want to bring myself down to the fact of doing it.
Hey, we're going to call this the Mocha Chocolate Yaya Bush.
Because it smells like chocolate. Oh. No.
Not approved?
No. I mean, it's not terrible, but no. It's probably two things I'd like. Actually, I probably would like that separate from Busch Light, but no, I'm gonna separate those out and not approve.
Well, that's good. I tell you one thing, though, that we do approve of is Legacy Farmer. It's important to protect the financial future of your family and its operation for the future generations to be set up for success. We had Jason.
I was going to say.
And that conversation went swimmingly.
Swimmingly?
That's a word you probably never thought you'd hear on Farm for Profit.
I never thought I'd heard that.
Mm-hmm. Do you disagree? Did it not go swimmingly?
I don't know the definition of swimmingly, but it went. It was thought-provoking. I guarantee you that.
For a guy of his age, if I didn't know, I would say he's probably 60 years old in terms of wisdom.
Mm-hmm. It's probably from the team that he's got around him. It's not all just Jace's perspective.
No. But we're extremely proud to partner with Jace and Legacy Farmer to help you, the listeners, do just that. After our conversation with Jace on the podcast, we couldn't believe the effectiveness of his program. Yeah. And so, Tanner, we got together with him and said, let's do a series, and that's what you're going to hear coming up here is the Legacy Farmer series, and it's a systematic partnership, I guess, with Legacy Farmer that you, the farmer, connect with as an advisor, counsel, friendship, partnership, etc. That's for building profitability and systemizing your business. That's what I'm going to
Every one of our profit shows is going to have a factor that Jace has singled out that helps your farm be a legacy farm. He and his team are already working with 300 family farms, and yours could be next. Everything from a network of operations just like yours to one-on-one support. If you have interest in connecting with Jace, go to legacyfarmer.org to begin your journey today. But let's get into our episode with
Farm Fit Mama.
Farm Fit Mama. Oh, and special guest, Bridget Readel.
Yes.
Here we go.
Today on the Farm for Fun show, we traded in the beer for pre-workout and protein shakes because we're getting healthy and ripped. Through a traumatic, life-altering event, this woman dealt with a roller coaster of stress and emotions, and it was there. She used fitness as an outlet and eventually landed her business helping others find strength and fitness of not just body, but of mind and emotion as well. From South Dakota, that I'm not going to say the name of, or Peter, Mrs. Amanda Nigg, a.k.a. Farm Fit Mama. All right.
I feel like I just walked out in a ring, and we're about ready to box.
And the reason that does not work is because we are drinking beer, and we are at the Farm Progress show.
And we're not drinking protein shakes right now.
No. But it's a good story for balance, right?
It is.
Life is about balance. And we also have a guest host, Bridget Readel. I don't have a good thing wrote up for you.
You know what? My good thing follows the fact that I am one of Amanda's clients. So
she is.
She can raise her arms and do the whole bicep curl because she made me do them today.
Yeah, did you see her calves? I'm proud of those.
Thank you. They're not the Angus ones. They're the ones below my knee.
And that booty?
That is why we
I make people sexy. Can I say that?
That is why yes, you can. And that's why we have you on. We have you on, and that's why we have Bridget on. The sense of humor here, I think, combined out of the four of us, ought to make this a really fun Farm for Fun show.
I think so, too.
All right, you guys have been here for a day at the Farm Progress show. What's the most fun thing you've seen since you got here?
Well, I haven't been here for a day. So we got here late yesterday, so we actually didn't come yesterday.
Ah.
Yeah, we were supposed to leave at 8, and I kind of pushed it back 2 hours. My husband wasn't too happy about it, but we got here. I would have to say today, seriously, there was this hammer where you had to hit the ball and it had to go up the pipe thing.
Yeah.
And there was all these like Australians, the short farmers trying it, and I was like, none of them could do it, and I was like, okay, I gotta try this bad boy. Like, I'm gonna get it. And Teresa's like, do you think you can get it? And I was like, done. So I got up there, swung, I got up to 8, whatever, and I was like, I'm not leaving until I get this thing. And she's like, you only get 3 swings, and I was like, challenge is accepted. Literally widened my stance and literally went into a squat, smacked it, and it went ding. And I was like, what do I get? And she's like, nothing. You just get a bragging rights. But they all cheered for me.
You get to brag about it on the Farm4Profit podcast.
Oh, I posted it on Twitter.
She's got it. Everybody's going to know.
Yeah. But it was funny. They're all like, yeah. They're like, kudos to you, chick.
That's awesome. And Bridget's been here since like 5 this morning.
Yeah, I decided I wanted to get here early for good parking, and then maybe just took a little nap in the pickup. It's all good. The guy who was on a horse who greeted me as I came in the parking lot, that was a nice touch.
Oh,
yeah, that was great. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I literally am like the 3rd vehicle in from the end of the row.
She snapped me, and I'm like, it's dark.
I know.
Like, I thought you were here last night when I looked at it.
I would have camped out, but I
guess.
guess security's tight. It was fun. And today I've got to see the CNC sprayer from John Deere. I saw Big Bud and its custom-made tractors. And then the cattlemen are selling sirloin sandwiches. And how can you go wrong with that?
Yep.
Sorry, pork producers. I bet yours was good, too.
You see the Bush Light Combine?
Yes, I did. And I asked about how it got here. And I got the background story that it got here very carefully on gravel roads, and then it had to be washed.
Yep. That's what we did on last Saturday. So
It is a finely administered or finely conducted orchestra. We got to come in Friday. No, it was Monday. We came in and set up our equipment. And this place was buzzing. Like, you had no idea there was a show going to actually happen Tuesday. So between 3 o'clock Monday afternoon and we got here at 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, the whole place changed.
Absolutely.
Overnight, done.
Oh, I believe it.
Farm shows, all the stuff that pops up and the people that appear, it's like it's on a hill. It's fabulous.
It is. Well, let's get back into Farm Fit Mama. Where did that name come from? What is that?
Actually, my name originally on Instagram was just Amanda Nigg, and I probably switched it over to Farm Fit Mama back in 2017 when I started my fitness journey. I was like starting my own journey. I wanted to figure out, I was that mom that was overweight, had 2 kids, C-sections, and I was looking for something that I could do at home out on the farm and trying to figure out that system and find something. And so I changed my handle and I shared a little bit about farming and fitness, but I talked about this earlier with another booth. Like, small town, it's really hard to find support. And I'm not meaning it in a bad way, but it's just like, it's like the crab in the bucket type scenario where you're trying to better yourself, and a lot of women project their insecurities onto you. And I totally fell victim to that, when I was going through my own fitness transformation. And so I've always been in the fitness, I've always had fitness background. I love fitness. I love everything I'm doing right now. I think the big guy upstairs every single day. But for me, the true meaning of Farm Fit Mama took off, I would have to say, in 2020 when our house burned down. And that's when that, I had the Instagram name and I had it already branded and everything, but it's just that's where I really went to social media to do challenges. My husband knew, for me, fitness was more than just working out. It was tackling my mental health, because a lot of people don't understand, they hear that, oh, your house burned down, that was just materialistic things. And it's like, okay, wait, have your house burned down the day before the national pandemic that was supposed to last 2 weeks, and then literally you're walking away from your dream home you just built 5 years ago, prior to that, with the clothes on your backs. And your oldest kid and your husband were both bawling because my husband had, his dad died of cancer, and we had his stuff in our basement. There's a lot of materialistic things that we can never replace. So a lot of people don't understand that. Yes, we get it. Everything you can buy new. My wedding ring was one of them. And that's a whole another story that I can go into later. But it's just a lot of people don't really understand how losing everything in 2 hours, and then next thing you know, the whole entire nation is locked down. It's like you can't even go buy groceries. Like, we literally couldn't. So.
Well, and then, what first popped in my mind, Corey, is we've also had a conversation with Rural Gone Urban, Brooke.
Yep.
And she's talking about, from a different perspective, trying to create material things that she could leave behind in an instance to where she may not be here in the future. You were talking about years of memories, years of things that, yes, are material. We get that. But the memory is still there, but that's what triggers. Those are the things that trigger the memory. You can't rely on yourself.
That's not the materialistic. That's history.
Right.
Having Louie's dad's things, that's what matters for you to have that history, especially for your boys. And then having lost that, and then making history the next day with a pandemic, that's a big mind shift. It doesn't happen very easily.
And I'll be the first to tell you, like, I struggled. I was literally at my mental low. I mean, I didn't even want to get out of bed. There was 2 weeks there where I didn't want to get out of bed, and it was just like, I have to be strong because, like, here's my husband, going into planting season, trying to keep his farming operation, he doesn't farm with anyone. Like, he's the farm. He's the 5th generation farm. And then we have 2 boys who are now getting homeschooled, and I'm supposed to homeschool them. And I am not a teacher, I'll tell you. I am not even close to a teacher. And it's just like there was so many like uncontrollable things. And the one thing that I could control was my workouts. It was my space. It was like my sanity. And where it morphed into it, I did a fun plank challenge in May. Ended up having like 800 farmers planking all over. Like, I mean, we had farmers planking on like tractors, cows, bison, you name it. Yeah, it was insane. And then that snowballed into another challenge that I did for free online. And then it was just like, I loved it. I loved everything about it, like putting it together, having people join in, watching people get excited to work out. And that really just catapulted into wanting to run a business and actually launch a program.
Have you planked on an X9?
I have not, but I wanted to plank on the big bud.
Oh, well, there's an X9 right there. I think you should do that afterwards.
Actually, I should talk to Brian and be like, Brian, we're going to go plank. We should do a planking challenge.
I'm going to lose at the planking challenge. I know that.
We should. Our minute to win it. I did, last time I ran into, it was funny, Nick Walker. I made him and a bunch of other guys do a push-up challenge. It was a minute to win it.
That was in Fargo at Big Iron.
Yep.
I remember watching you guys.
Yep, and so we all lined up and we all went, doing these push-ups, and these guys are like, why the heck did I meet this chick? Like, where did she come from?
Honestly, it sounds better up there than down here with this temperature right now.
That's fair. It is a little warmer today, day 2 of the Farm Progress Show. But I bet you they gave you the comment, well, she doesn't have to push up as much. She's a little bit smaller.
Actually, I didn't have the least. I finished third. Nick took it home, and then I think the second person was leg arms, and I was like right behind him. So I was the third, and there was like a group of like 15 of us doing these push-ups. So nope, I held my own. I know how to push up.
I always used to get made fun of for pull-up challenges because I'm
just a little guy.
Skinnier, and we don't have to pull up as much. I'm like, well, maybe you should change that.
No, but a lot of people don't understand is pull-ups are body weight. Like, especially dead man hang pull-ups. Like, it doesn't matter if you're smaller or bigger. You're pulling for your body weight. You're pulling for your muscle mass.
Could you not put those in my workouts, please? Because I would very much like to never.
You're
going to
hate me. It's in the future. Pull-ups are in the future.
You didn't think I signed it all my already
So let's
did?
talk about this connection here. So, Bridget, how did you find Amanda?
Through the plank challenge. I started doing that, and I would make fun of it because we were doing it like in May, and I would reward myself with the bottle of Jose Cuervo and the margarita. I'm going to do this challenge for Amanda, and I'm going to have a margarita. But then she opened up her program and applications, and we had a great conversation on the phone. There is no one more competitive than those in the ag community, especially those of us who've been in sales for a while. And so you realize that you want to do well, and you're accountable because Amanda's paying attention to that, and you don't want to let her down. So you may think, I'm not a great homeschooling teacher, but for those of us that you're paying attention to in the profile, it works great. And so I joined Amanda's program. Things changed, and the first time I did my comparison shots of my pictures, I thought, nothing really changed. And then I waited a little while and went back and went, that seems to be working out okay. I should probably do more.
What happened?
I didn't lose weight, but my body style changed, and it became much more fit. And I started to look forward to doing my workouts. Those are part of my day. That's sort of a de-stressor. And if I don't get to work out, then the very least is I get to continue what I used to do before, and that's some pretty heavy whacking, 4 or 5 miles a day. And it makes such a difference in how you feel at the end of the day. So back to Amanda's mental health, you can kind of get yourself a little under control.
Well, and I like the comment that you made, is it might not all be about losing weight. That there's a lot more to physical fitness. So how do you approach that with the people that are following you?
First and foremost, the scale is a horrible way to measure progress, and I'm gonna throw that out there, because the scale doesn't tell you how much muscle mass you have or how much body fat you have. It's just a number. And as a society, even everywhere, we put so much pressure on that number, and we're like, oh, we have this ideal weight in our head, and it's like, that doesn't mean you're going to be strong, sexy, and confident. That might not be your ideal weight. And so in my program, we do something called progress photos measurements, and then we also do benchmark dates, and those are kind of how we test your physical and go through the program. But a lot of people, just like Bridget said, don't change weight, because what you're doing is a pound of fat and a pound of muscle, they weigh the exact same. How they sit on your body is where it's different. What they occupy on your body is a lot different. And so that's the first thing we hit off right out the bat, is I'm like, don't go by weight. That's why we do progress photos, and once you get the ball rolling, it's crazy how fast your body changes when you're starting to feel it with correct foods, And when I say correct food, nothing's off the table. Like, I teach something called macronutrients, which is a huge word, and I can explain in a second, but it's just that ideal behind macronutrients is you're focusing on protein, carbs, and fats in large amounts, because that's what our body does not make, and that's what we need to take in through our everyday nutrition. And so once you start to understand how to fuel your body, and we're talking like Bridget's eating potatoes, like she's still having a beer, I'm having a beer, nothing's off the table, but it's finding that balance. And that's the beautiful part, within our industry is, I would say my husband's a prime example of this. He grew up on meat and potatoes, and it's not like I'm taking that away. He can still eat it. It's just now we're maybe trying, more of a lean cut of meat, and more like I've been known to make sweet potatoes, which he's not a fan of. Yeah. Let's be honest. Sweet potatoes, he's like, what is this?
I like sweet potatoes.
Yeah, no, I like sweet potatoes too, but it's just like, it's being willing to try some different things and incorporate different foods, like maybe you're eating white bread, you can go whole wheat bread. Those simple small little changes. Swaps that make a huge, profound impact.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of skills, but I'm a pretty good eater. And Amanda just told me how to get that a little bit more under control, and that makes a difference as well.
Yeah.
Bridget, how many bush lights can we have?
I got to get my app out, and I can tell.
Oh, you got an app that tells you?
I got an app for that.
No, we track food nutrition in my program. I mean, we're a hands-on coach. It's really cool. I met one of my coaches for the first time ever. A lot of people don't understand. I'm 100% online, and so both of my coaches I've never met in person until today. So it's really cool in that aspect too. And we're all ag related. My sales team and my coaches, we're all farm wives. We all have on the operation. This fall, my husband's already told me, he's like, you're driving grain cart. I'm like, what about combine? I'll do the combine, not the grain cart.
Yeah.
Huh.
So walk us through a day of, or let's walk us through, how do you get started on your program? How does someone reach out to you and do that, and then walk us through a day in your program?
Okay. Well, I'll let Bridget walk through the day, because she can do it better on the client side. The coach's side is a little more complex. But how you apply to the program is it is an application process, just because the fact that, we get a ton of applications, but it's more us getting to know you. This is tailored fitness. I want to know your strengths. I want to know your weaknesses. I want to know your insecurities, because that's how I can really tailor and really tackle your physical and mental health transformation. It all plays into that same effect. And so the best way to apply is when I do open applications, which we just closed our applications. We have 85 new clients eager and starting Monday, which we're excited about. We won't open back up until February 2023.
Wow.
But other than that, the best round is following me on social media. Follow FarmFit Training on social media. We'll always announce in those, or getting on my newsletter list. I do weekly newsletters. That's another great way to hear about when we open up on applications. And it's always first come, first serves. I don't play any favorites. Like you apply and you'll go through and meet my sales team who, this is another cool fact, is everybody that's on my coaching staff and sales team has been through my one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
So they've all been through the program. They know exactly, they've been in the client's shoes and aspect of that. So,
okay.
Yeah, and then I'll let Bridget explain. Sure. Yeah.
The day in the life of me working with Amanda.
Working with me.
So it starts on Sunday for me. And that's when all of my workouts show up in the app. And so it's up to me to schedule the workouts that I'm going to do for the week. And I get to pick my days, which is a really big deal for me. Being able to pick my days to know when I want to actually do the workout and when I need a rest day. That's awesome. And so for me, that's the easiest thing, is the flexibility. But then also, because I travel a lot, I you know, with sales, with radio, and so it's great that I can choose what am I going to eat that day, and I just balance that within the app that we use for the carbs, the fat, and the protein, and I can get where I need to be. So really, knowing that we're all in farming and Amanda makes it very flexible for us matters a lot. I don't have to be at a gym at a certain time because they've got hours, etc. I can do it when I want. My favorite thing, though, is the fact that earlier this year, she partnered with John Deere and built the War Bell. And that was a program that many of us were in. And so I have a 35-pound kettle. It's sort of like a kettle weight with extra handles. My husband calls it basically a suitcase weight for his tractor. But nonetheless, I love it. And I'm only using the lightweight. There's a 55 and a 75 to go with it. And I think the kettlebells are awesome, or the War Bells are awesome.
So you call it a War Bell?
Yes. Yeah, they're actually here. So you did the introduction. We're in a beer tent, but the War Bells, I did bring the 35, 55, and 75. So the 55 and 75 are not available. John Deere and me are the only ones that have that in John Deere green. But the 35 we used as a program, and they ended up collaborating with us. And they sponsored the program, and so it was new for them. I mean, they've never been in the fitness space, and it moves super fast, and I think it was kind of like, whoa, what's happening here? She's like already going. There's already like all these War Bros being sold.
Right.
So it was kind of a new experience for them as well. And for me, I'll be honest, like I've never been sponsored by a company like that. I do have a lot of people interested now, but it was a great collaboration, and it was really cool to be able to bring, fitness and when you think of farming, a lot of people think of the John Deere green, and so it was super cool to bring those two together and offer a piece of equipment and a program that can do that.
We got to get Corey and I and Dave in the program and get us a set of War Bells and document our journey.
That would be awesome. I do make everybody do progress photos. So backing up, Bridget was talking about my program. I do have my own app. So it is Farm Fit Mama. It's my own app, and how we use to track your fitness is we use MyFitnessPal. It's a very common. Everybody's heard of that one. So it actually links to my app, so I can see your nutrition and see what you're eating. So.
Just go ahead and not look at my nutrition today because it maybe hasn't been what it should be, Amanda. and a cheat day is okay now and then. I can get back on track tomorrow, but today,
And that's a great point, too, is I teach a system. So I don't tell you what to eat. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, Tanner, you're going to eat chicken and rice for the next 12 weeks. You'd probably be like, I'm out.
Right. And the diet suggestions, so like for me, instance, I want to build and bulk up. So it'd be...
It's different macros.
Customized, yes. Okay.
Yep. So
I was just looking, I thought I had just downloaded that app. I can't find it. I downloaded a challenges app for the office.
Yeah.
Just to kind of track calories that way.
So macronutrients basically means you're focusing on those, protein, carbs, and fats in large amounts. And the biggest thing is you're focusing on the nutrition, not empty calories. And so it's really cool to be able to teach people how to fuel their bodies with everyday foods. But just like you said, you want to build muscle, and there's a lot of people that want to lose weight. And so those macros are totally different. Yep. And they need to be customized because everybody's different, and where they're at in their fitness journey is not the same.
Oh, that's great. Wait, Corey, I think we got far enough into this. We got to do our drink. Our pickle juice is getting warm. So Busch Light, proud sponsor of the beer of the podcast, Farm4Profit podcast. We are sitting here in the Busch Light beer tent at John Deere, and I couldn't get the damn pickle jar open. So my soft banker hand, I do. That soft banker hand, it needed some help. So good thing that we had Amanda here to help us out. So true Corey fashion, we got it little bit of pickle juice. Actual pickle
Oh, is
here.
this supposed to be a shot? Because I
Well,
made it a drink.
however you want to do it. Yeah, we had a little shot of pickle juice and
People
one of them
look
little
very
mini pickles in it.
confused. Okay.
Dill. This is a dill pickle juice.
Okay.
Let's
All
give it a
right.
try.
Let's give our pickle beer a try.
I think I mixed mine a little strong, but I do like pickles.
That's pretty tasty. I'm not gonna lie.
I just put the pickle juice in my beer, and I'm not supposed to shotgun this. Is that? Oh,
You can.
You guys are
You
all
can do whatever you
sipping.
want.
You
Oh,
can.
I'm
We gotta be
shot-
able to talk about it. We got
I'm
a couple of different tastes. This is good.
I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of tasty.
I do like it. One of my favorite shots is a shot of pickle juice and a shot of Jack Daniels.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm a Jameson.
that'd probably be good.
I'm at straight up Jameson on the rocks.
Really? That'd
I
be
don't know
good.
if you've ever told me about it before, because I'm pretty sure I would have ordered us shots like that. That sounds delicious.
I used to get shots like that. Yeah,
does sound good.
because a shot of Jack will kick your ass,
Uh-huh.
but
I am
when you put some
making
pickle,
notes. Making
it
notes
works.
right
It works
now.
pretty good.
Wow. That's you guys are
Pickle juice.
hardcore.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, it is good.
Do you have any?
You know what? Tonight at the party, are you coming to that?
I am. I just
So
finally got the cool invitation. I guess I was
The-
the cool kid for a while.
the host of that has a extremely nice bourbon bar, so I bet he'll have some Jack.
So what you're telling me is between now and the 5 miles when I get there, I'm going to need to like bourbon. So I might want to work on that.
There will be plenty of other drinks there. You'll be
Okay.
just fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if we could afford to provide everyone with the bourbon that he has. I mean, he's got like some $1,200 bottles.
Sounding like good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So
I mean,
want-
I get to watch Andy clean a tractor. We were talking about that
Yeah.
over at Titan. I was like, "Are you gonna do the wax on, wax off?" He's like, "You're gonna help me." I'm like,
he's
I don't
here. I
know.
think he's getting ready.
You
Stretching
guys are
and
there.
all that. Yeah.
Yep.
Is he in your program?
No, he was affiliate. So back up, Andy. I actually asked to be an affiliate when I launched that John Deere program.
Okay.
He didn't work out at all. But I did tell him there is something, I don't want to spill the beans yet, but there is something I'm working on that's coming on, and he might have his opportunity to complete it down the road. That's all I got to say there.
Okay.
So we're working on it.
I've always been a bigger fellow, but I've always also been pretty athletic. I call it sneaky athleticism, right? If someone were to watch me play, I could go play sand volleyball right now. You may not look like it. I went to state in tennis, if you can believe that.
I can believe that. And
I can believe that, actually.
I think you're like
I'm
the
not gonna
speedy,
lie.
quick, sneaky guy.
Yeah, so I sneak up on people because people will just like judge me, and they're like, "Oh, that guy ain't gonna go by me," and I just like in basketball just drive by him or something.
Same.
Well, last
But-
night they did the floatable. You slide in. It's like you bumper cars.
Yeah.
You have that like a see-through. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the giant balls.
Yeah, it's like a
Bumper
ball.
Boy?
Oh.
They did that last night, and at the Titan tent they were talking about it, and I was like, dude, I would have like dominated. They're like, yeah, because you're low to the ground and you're quick.
Yes.
You would have killed everyone.
You also, if someone would have hit you just right, would have gone a long ways too.
Yes,
Yes.
I would have flow.
So where I was going with that is like, so I feel like as a human, but a lot of times farmers, we have a excuse for everything, right? We're in the tractor, we're combining all day long, eating crappy foods or whatever that someone brings us, a salesperson brings us to the field or whatever.
Hello, donuts.
What's the best advice you could give for someone that's wanting to be healthy in that scenario?
I would say start small. Like, don't overcomplicate. I always preach about the KISS methodology. It's keep it simple, stupid. A lot of people, when they dive into a fitness journey, it's all or nothing. And they don't realize, like, you're going to have ups and downs. That's part of life. Life is not this perfect road. And so with a fitness journey, it's a journey for a reason. There's no destination. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And just like Bridget said, when she started, she started seeing small progress. And then when she kept going, that's when she saw the progress. And so a lot of people give up on that journey and process way too soon before they even get to the good stuff.
Right.
And it's the easy stuff. It's,
Yeah.
I'm on the road a lot. So in my pickup, instead of drinking pop, I have water. So you just swap one for one, right? That makes it easier. You can find those high protein bars that really fill in instead of just a drive-through somewhere. Because the idea of fast food in North Dakota is pretty much Dairy Queen, so I might have to tamp that down
You have a
slightly.
Chick-fil-A in Fargo.
Yeah, but the line is forever long. except neck one.
But it goes so fast.
And it's just chicken. Did anybody else notice that? It's just chicken.
It is. It's grilled chicken. I don't know what. Anyways, we don't need to go down that route.
So yeah, you can do little things that make a difference. And I know harvest is not easy. You're packing the snack box and hoping to make it through the end of the day.
Well, I'd say probably the hardest part about harvest for my observation is, one, just the amount of time that's on your hands. Is what do you now do to occupy yourself, your time, outside of eating?
Twitter,
Right.
TikTok.
You
Well,
come
my
up with something else.
Yeah, my husband watches movies.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
like especially when he's out there late at night.
Right. And then the second thing is the network around the farmer. You mentioned the donuts.
Yeah.
I bring field lunches out.
Yeah.
I also show up with a 12-pack of beer. Or
But you can say no.
Right, and that's not easy.
Hard.
It's
But,
really
but
hard.
the thing is, like, okay, you're your longest commitment. You truly are. Like, we invest in crops. We invest in our grain bins. We invest in every aspect of farming and ranching. Animals. You know, you buy medicine for your calves, or your, you know, if you're a rancher or your cattle, and it's just like you invest so much love into everything you do. But what about yourself? Like, are you taking the time to keep yourself around? Are you taking the time to, you know, you're your longest commitment. If you're not around, who's going to do it? And that's the thing. A lot of people take life for granted sometimes. I feel like, you know, we're too busy in the hustle and bustle of things, you know, because as farmers, we're the biggest gamblers. Plain and simple.
I mean, you take what Corey and I and Dave have done over the last 2 days, and that's busy.
Yes.
And we're at a trade show. And I had cheeseburger yesterday. I had a cheeseburger for lunch today.
But a cheeseburger is not bad.
Right.
You can
and
have
then,
it.
And then we had beer. I mean, you're right. When you get busy, you go with convenient. Where we could have, and we actually talked about doing it, packed our own lunch.
Right, and you could have.
And it's not that even necessary. Like, a lot of people think, oh, if I'm going to do this program or diet, like, I have to eat these certain types of foods. But, like, you don't understand. You can eat whatever you want. Like, I eat cheeseburgers, and I have muscle. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, my husband does too. And, like, it's just looking at foods as a different way. So viewing it, taking that emotional attachment that we have as a society on foods and more looking at it as fuel. It's like, how am I going to fuel my body? How am I going to get energy?
Right.
How am I going to be able to function at my ultimate best? And, you know, a lot of people out there, they're just like, I need to fly through this. Like, I have countless men in tractors. I have countless women, you know, that are also in tractors, you know, and work off the farm. And they're doing it. And it's just like a little preparation goes a long way.
Well, and if you're the next challenge, if we can, once you get us under control as far as our food, we're paying attention to our workouts, because the workouts can be done anywhere with anything that you have.
Absolutely.
I've seen people do them with, you know, sacks
15
of
to
grain
25 minutes.
or literally the suitcase weights off their tractor. Can you get us a sleep challenge? Because there's a lot that's been happening during this week.
trifecta.
I bet you're all tired.
Yes.
Yeah, the trifecta to fitness that I teach about. Yeah. But there is a challenge that I'm doing for Legacy, by the way, in October, just so you know. But I have exciting things. I'm not going to say too much. Today was full of a lot of meetings for me.
Good.
But there's a lot of exciting things coming.
Make sure you keep us in the loop and our listeners.
Oh,
in
you
the
guys
loop.
are going to do my next challenge. I'm going to be like,
Oh,
okay,
that'd
guys.
be
Yeah, we'll do it.
Just buy and go. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yes.
I would love to
would be
put muscle
pumped.
on you. I would love to bulk you up.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
He's,
And you?
I need to slim down.
I can slim you down, but man, we could get you those cuts. I mean, we could do it.
I need to.
I mean, you could get some like calves like Bridget over
So
here.
I was actually down 20 pounds at the start of August from springtime. Just
Okay.
watching what I was eating and biking all summer long. And then, like, just several events, a couple of people died, and,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and it just happened. And not even that close, just just depressing things.
Yes.
I hate to make an excuse, but it's just like
Yeah.
one thing after another, and August has kind of been a spiral. So I'm back like 10 pounds down.
But many of us are emotional eaters. That's what we do.
Back to what I said. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I need to get back on.
You know, like looking at food as fuel instead of having that emotional tie. Like a lot of us do have that emotion. I'll be the first to tell you, before I started really diving into macros and creating the system, because this system is 100% mine. Like my mentor, who is not with me anymore, we don't need to go on that, but she has been in the fitness space for 9 years, and she's never seen someone teach nutrition the way I teach it. And it's like, you know what? Agriculture is not just like any other industry. We're a unique industry. I'm not going to teach it just like you teach any other industry. You know, I'm going to tailor it, and for one, it works for my lifestyle and my husband's. So it's just, we're a unique industry, plain and simple.
I'm excited for what's coming down the pipeline. I don't know if we pointed it out. Corey did a little bit. He wrote the intro in July or June.
I love that.
Or whatever.
And then I thought I had a podcast with you guys, and it wasn't you guys.
She's calling us out on Instagram like, I'm here, no one's coming. Like,
Where are you?
and I freaked out. So I freaked out and I called her. I sent her a
called
message,
me.
called her.
Yeah, and you called him in.
Yeah.
Called a three-way call, and I'm like, I didn't have anything scheduled. I hope that we're not, misscheduling something for you. And it turns out it was a whole different podcast. It wasn't even us.
Yeah, I should have said yes. You missed it. Like, I'm out.
We've been like, well, feel bad about that.
Because what we
Sorry.
tried, it was like the first time you had something come up, and then we tried again, and something come up, and then then you thought you were supposed to be on, and we weren't.
Right.
There, so.
Yeah, the third time's the charm.
But
I don't know if we could have picked a better place to do this.
This is an awesome
just saying.
This is awesome, and I have the Warbells even here. So like, as soon as we're done with this,
We'll get a
like you
picture
guys
of
are
it.
done.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think folks who are listening to you realize, because I do scheduling too for different things, it gets pretty wild in the
sure.
background when things have to change at the last minute.
Yeah.
Like, Corey and I tell people.
I'm sorry, guys. I was like, now you're making me feel
I was
bad.
mowing the yard. Tanner's like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "Oh."
The best part about it, though, is that's all fine. We don't pay any of our guests. It is all at their own time, they want to be and interact with us, so we appreciate every single person. We've got an Excel spreadsheet that has 50 to 100 names on it.
That's awesome.
Just for the sheer fact that we can only get the 3 or 2 of us sometimes together on a certain day or certain afternoon. And now you got to find guests that match up to your afternoon.
Right.
So you start with 50 people to hopefully get 4 interviews.
It's because you guys are
Yeah,
the
make it
cool
work.
kids, and everybody
I
wants to
know.
hang with you.
I appreciate that.
I'm not gonna
comment.
lie, I was excited about today.
Good. We were excited about
when,
today.
when I came to Brian this morning with the Warbells, I was like, yeah, I'm Farm4Profit, and he's like, have you ever done a live podcast? And I'm like, no, I haven't. He's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, do I get a headphone? Do I get to sit? Like, I feel like this is gonna be a big deal for me.
No, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being on. But I want to go all the way back to the beginning of the conversation. You said you had more of a story, and I wrote the word wedding ring down.
Oh, yes.
What is your wedding ring story after the house fire?
Well, first and foremost, I believe in God. And nothing against it if you're not religious. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's your own views, and I don't care. You do you, I do me. But when our house burnt down, literally I didn't have my wedding ring on because I was going to work out that morning in our garage. And so my husband, I just woke up that morning, and again, I was super depressed. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I was so depressed. Like, I was just miserable. And I woke up 4 days later after our house burnt down, and I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to go back to the house and look for my wedding ring. And he's like, do you realize, like, you can't take a metal detector because the whole house is put together by nails and metal. He's like, you're not going to find it. And even his uncle said that, and everybody was against it. And my 8-year-old, God, this is making me cry, 7-year-old at the time, walked up to me and he's like, I believe in you, Mom. We're going to find it. And I was just like overwhelmed, like I'm about ready to cry now. And so I was just like, okay, we're going to find it. So my husband called a couple farm wives. We went over there. And he was right. We brought metal detectors, and we dove, we climbed around and went into the basement, and I walked the floor plan because I knew where my master closet was, and I knew where I had it in the master closet. And I'm like, well, if it dropped, it would have been right here. And we started finding costume jewelry, believe it or not. And I'm like, how did this costume jewelry survive the fire? Like, our safe didn't even survive the fire. Like, how did this costume jewelry? And we started digging around, and the metal detectors didn't work, and 45 minutes later, one of the farm wives found my wedding set perfectly intact together. Mm-hmm. And we all just started bawling, and we started celebrating, and then we had to get out of there because it got so smoky. Like, it just started smoking, like you couldn't be in the basement anymore. So we all climb out the window, and we're all crying and bawling, like, oh my God, we just found Mission Impossible. Like if you see the pictures, you'll be like, I can't believe you guys found that.
So, at the end of the day, when you talked to your 8-year-old, what did he say to you?
He's like, I knew it, Mom. He's like, well, he was 7 at the time. And he's like, I knew we would find it, Mama. He's like, I just had a feeling that we'd find it. And I was like, God, buddy, I'm just so thankful for you. Like, even my husband was like, there's no way you're going to find it. Just no way. Like, everybody was just like, no, no, no. And then me and him were like, we're going to find it. So it's a cool story. I mean, insurance, you got to have it. I'll be honest with you, it sucked. They didn't cover anything. It ended up being a complete loss. And they're like, well, do you want to send the wedding ring in? And I was like, no, I kind of want to keep it. And they're like, well, since it's a complete loss, it ended up being 4 months later because we had to wait after COVID thing and we couldn't get into a jeweler. So I do have the original set still in our safe. It's like, I should post a picture of it. It's seriously burnt to crisp. I mean, it's completely non-salvageable. Even the diamond, the fire got so hot.
Wow.
It like cracked the diamond. They're like, if we take this diamond out of the set, it will be like a million little pieces.
Wow.
So they did pay a portion into my new ring, and I actually just upgraded it, guys.
It looks really nice.
My 10-year wedding anniversary, I made my husband upgrade the rock.
That's a good one. What is that, 2 carats?
3.
3 carats? I wouldn't know what one was. So.
I was like,
really?
I'm worth it, so let's go. He's
Absolutely.
like, but no, my husband's amazing. We're actually going to be celebrating our 10-year this, and we've been through a lot. We've got rocked and lost a home, and yeah, it's really cool.
Well, what a cool start to your fitness journey that has become so much more than just a journey, that your son knew that you could find it, that you could do it, that you said it yourself. You accomplished Mission Impossible. And if you've already accomplished Mission Impossible, nothing else can be any more difficult.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are so used to staying in your comfort zone. Like, as humans, we are a creature of habits. Like, we fear the unknown. We fear of, like, stepping outside that comfort zone in the name of growth. And it's natural. And so, like, for me, like, I'll be honest, like, 2020 was a lot of growth. There was a lot of things that I was doing, and I got to that mindset, well, why not? I have nothing, like, I lost everything. Like, before, it was always keeping up with the Joneses, like, holding that image, and then after that, it was just like, I'm going to do my own thing and rock it, and we'll see where this goes. Like, I had to go through that, and my husband and I always talk about this. I don't think I would have started a fitness journey if I didn't lose our home.
I was just going to ask that. Do you think you'd be here today?
No,
if that
wouldn't.
happened?
I wouldn't have started it. I was comfortable. I was #1 in the nation for selling insurance. I was comfortable. And that's the thing. Like, you don't grow when you're comfortable. So, no.
We had a conversation with the lieutenant governors. 6 lieutenant governors came by the booth, and I asked them what their best piece of advice that they've ever been given, which you both will get to answer that question when we get to the end.
Okay.
And she said that you always get to the win. Someone had told her that you always need to get to the win. The win may not look like a domineering win. It could be a meet in the middle or a mutual victory. But kind of what you described, you are a winner by nature, I can tell in your personality. You're the #1 sales for insurance.
I'm a competitor, yes.
Right. There's a drive that when you put your mind to it, but I also know that doesn't mean you have to have that drive to be successful.
No. Well, and I want to back up here, too. Like, first and foremost, like, I had zero support. Like, I'm not trying to bash my husband. I love him, and he's one of my biggest supporters now. But when I launched my business, he was a supporter. Like, and I'm the type of person, if you tell me I can't do something, I'll look you dead in the face and be like, watch me. Like, you can't tell me I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, I will figure out a way to do this. And so, again, he's my biggest supporter, and nothing against my husband, but it's just like, for him, he was just like, like farming and fitness, he's like, why wouldn't they just call a number? And I'm like, that's the thing, that's what I'm trying to change. Like, there's so many people doing amazing things in agriculture, and again, mental health is such a huge crisis, and nobody's really truly building that bridge to get that gap. In the last 2 decades, agriculture as a whole is 40%, and this is not including COVID statistics, 40% increase on suicidal rates. 40%. We're #1 in the nation for suicidal. And again, it's like pumping out a number. It's like, oh, if you have suicidal thoughts, reach out to your neighbor. Who's going to reach out to their neighbor? Let's be honest.
Yeah, right.
And who's going to call a number and talk to a complete stranger? And so it's just like, the only way I knew how to tap into that is through a physical transformation.
I don't discredit your husband at all for doing that. I think sometimes your closest friends and your significant other is sometimes the devil's advocate.
But they should be.
And they should be. And he's
Because that
he's
makes
always
you-
that way, yeah.
Because if he just supported you and had some stupid idea, I mean, you
I wouldn't have been where I wouldn't.
can't
yeah.
just support
Wouldn't have
blindly.
tried that hard, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he is. He's like my devil's in anything in my business. He always plays devil advocate, and I love him, and we have a great relationship. But like, he will be like, have you thought this through? Like, blah blah blah. He'll give me scenarios, and I'll be like, just watch me. And he knows that's how it fuels me. Like he knows my. I mean, we've been together 11 years, so.
Yep.
He knows how to like push those right buttons and figure it out.
Corey, these are my favorite conversations.
Yep.
To where we didn't touch the notes that were typed in front of us.
No.
Oh no!
You're the one that types them. I don't look at them.
I know, but that's why I typed them as a crutch if the conversation doesn't go well, which means today this conversation went really well.
We're sort of chatting.
Oh, I see you have radiation therapy on there. Maybe
We have all
we can
kinds
use
of
it.
stuff.
Yeah, look
So-
at that.
But that gives us ammo for a second show.
There we go.
I do
Yeah.
want to give Bridget a couple minutes to see
Yes.
what she's doing because she came all the way down here to help us out and has been doing her own thing. And I mean, obviously she was on here because she's one of your customers.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Bridget's doing some awesome stuff too. What do you got going?
So Bridget decided to change things up.
First and foremost, Bridget's self-employed, and
Yes.
I am excited about it. We had a great conversation, and I'm super proud of her. By
And
the
that
way.
helped tremendously because after 25 years of working for Corteva AgriScience in ag sales and technical agronomy, it's like, I want to do something different. And there's a story behind all that, how it happened. But now I am still half-time working for them, but I now have my own radio show with a local media company, and I just talk about ag with 2 meteorologists. Additionally, I launched my own LLC to do training and helping out sales when it comes to retail agronomy, and I partnered that with 2 guys that you've worked with,
Oh, yes.
Kyle and Jason from the Agronomist Happy Hour podcast, and we have a fabulous plan to help out others because you want to be more than a pickup and a price list, and we can help you do that.
No, that's
Happy
awesome.
to.
Well, thanks, Bridget, for coming down. I'm going to have to tell you no when you want to send me a pie again. I was told today I could not say yes to that anymore.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you're going to be on my program, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I mean,
no.
I'm going to be your coach. I'm a no BS coach.
You can
Sneak that pie in next week.
It's
please.
going to be something like little pieces by little pieces.
send the pie and he's going to be able to smell it.
Tanner will eat it in front of me and not gain a pound.
Right, because
You know that's
she's
how
going to
he
want
is.
me to put like 4,000 calories into my
Oh, I'm going to bulk you up. Yeah, we're going to put some muscle.
I like this.
You're going to hate it. I'm going to be like, get down there.
Like rice
All
and
I do is eat. Yes.
God.
2 cheeseburger, 2 cheeseburger, 2 cheeseburger.
Yeah.
All right, the question we prepped you. What's the best advice that you've ever been given? But listeners, I have to tell you this, pickle beer. You know when you sit at a campfire and you just get lost in the flames? Were you watching the pickles too?
Yes, I
Inhale
do.
that pickle.
Why were the pickles dancing?
Yeah, they have like their own energy. They're spinning in the
They
beer.
do. But olives do that too. If you drop green olives in a beer,
Yes.
they bob.
I don't. But this pickle was doing somersaults. It went up and went down. It was rolling around back and forth.
It's a happy pickle.
So not only was pickle juice in the beer a good thing, but the pickles being in there was also entertaining if you can hold back
Yeah, I didn't
and
notice
not just
that.
drink the whole beer.
Yeah.
I just chugged that beer.
Yeah.
All right, what is the best advice that you have ever been given? Bridget, are you ready?
I can be.
All right, you go first.
From my dad. And my dad told me that when I wasn't in sports because we had dairy animals, and he says, you can do anything you want to do. And sports don't need to be the thing that makes you who you are. And they never did. I was never in a sports league. My athleticism is equated to cow on ice. And therefore, I have had to build everything else after that.
Cow on ice.
Yes.
Sounds like a winter show.
It's
I'm going to start telling
pretty
Dave
real.
that's what Dave looks
Do
like.
you do cow on ice at Agronomy on Ice?
we could. We haven't brought any cows yet, but we could.
Yeah.
And, Agronomy on Ice, mark your calendars, February 1st. We're planning for you guys to be there.
Okay.
Guys, dirty.
All right.
Now it's me.
Yeah,
I
yes.
mean, I'm just like literally my brain's going to a million places when you ask that question. It's like I've gotten so many amazing advice from so many people that I take in great pride. I mean, I love advice, so I'm like a sponge when it comes to learning stuff. But I think about a time, with my grandpa. Like I was really close. I was a grandpa's girl. He owned his own cement plant, and he started it from the ground up. A huge corporation ended up coming in and buying it, before he passed away. But his motto was, the day you stop working is the day you grow old. And his methodology behind that is, if you're not eager to learn and be coachable and dive in and, you know, and learn something new, you're going to grow old. And it just kind of stuck with me. It's just like, you know, there's so much in life that, you know, a lot of times where we throw in the towel or we're saying it's too hard and we don't apply ourselves. And it's just like, you got to be coachable. You got to be willing to learn and grow and keep going. And I mean, he worked all the way up. He ended up dying of cancer, but he worked all the way up until his late 70s and ended up passing. He literally worked in like probably about 5 months after he got diagnosed. He ended up passing away, but he worked all the way up until those 5-month mark. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, he had an amazing work ethic, and he was such a role model. But it's really true. Like, you know, in agriculture, how many times do you see farmers? Like, we have great Uncle Bill always coming out to our farm riding with my husband, and I love him, but he smells like mothballs. But we don't need to go into that.
Right.
But.
Hopefully he doesn't listen.
But I don't think he will, so I'm good.
I don't know why people call it mothballs. They should just call it old people smell.
I mean, I
So
don't
that's
know.
not
But
like an Old Spice scent that you want to be buying.
No, I don't think so.
well,
Okay.
we had
I lived it. I lived the smell that you just described. And they're not even close to me.
we have a guy that comes out as seasonal hired man, and he was running the combine, and he fell asleep in the tractor with him. And he's like, I couldn't breathe. We love Uncle Bill. He's great. He's, you know, almost 90, and he comes out and he's still passionate about, you know, my husband's a 5th generation farmer. His dad and grandpa, you know, passed away, and so he loves to come out and still feel part of that, and we'll always include him. But God, I should buy him cologne maybe for his birthday.
Listeners, this episode has been good to the last drop. Ladies, before you leave, how can they find you on social media? Start with Bridget.
Oh, okay. I spend most of my time on Twitter at BM Readel, but everywhere else I just use my name at Bridget Readel.
Okay.
And you do nooner chats on Fridays.
I do.
We had a nooner a couple weeks
We
ago.
had a nooner a couple weeks ago, every Friday at 11:30
Haven't I
Central
been on
Time.
these news?
Don't worry, your time is coming. But
Good.
I use the Twitter Spaces. We do a nooner chat. We spend an hour talking about whatever might come to mind.
Hey, that's
I love
great.
that.
Kind of like these shows.
Yes,
Comes to mind.
yes, they are.
I mean, we didn't even touch your guys' notes. I love the preparation, though.
Yes. So, how do they find you, Amanda?
Farm Fit Mama on every social media. Like, it's Farm Fit and then MOMMA. You type in Amanda Nigg, it will pull me up on some platforms, but it's Farm Fit Mama.
Okay.
Even on TikTok.
Even on,
Yes.
well, it was a Nigg. So, story behind that, my husband's a huge TikTok guy, and so I launched my TikTok, and he's like, I think you've been hacked, because I said I would never be on TikTok. And I was like, okay, or not TikTok, Twitter, excuse me. We're talking about Twitter. And so my original name on Twitter was A Nigg 1910, because our farm was founded in 1910. And some guy questioned my last name. He was like, aren't you a little racist? And I'm like, I'm like, wait, buddy, that's my last name.
Yeah. I wondered if that's where it was going. In 1910?
Yeah. And I was like, that's the year our farm was established, and that's my last name. So then I ended up switching it on Twitter to Farm Fit Mama, because I was like, well, I'm Farm Fit Mama on every social media platform. And so I switched it over, and Louie's like, well, I don't know why you weren't Farm Fit Mama to begin with. And I was like, well, after that guy just questioned me, I was like, I don't know either.
For
but
sure. Good.
Yeah.
People can be pretty shallow-minded.
Yes, they
I
can.
know,
But
it's
not
sad.
listeners of the Farm4Profit podcast.
No.
Ladies,
You have
never.
fabulous people. They love you.
We do.
Yeah.
We do, and we
They've
love them.
They've been coming up and taking pictures of you because
Is it
you
fun?
all are stars.
don't
I
know
know.
about that.
I
I
feel
think
like
they're
I'm on
coming for you
celebrity
guys.
status.
No,
I mean,
they've
the
been-
headphones.
You know what? The idea to sit boy, girl, was probably the most beneficial for that, because if it was
Yes.
girl, girl, boy, they'd all would have just gone right here for the picture
Yep.
and left Corey and I out of it completely.
I will tell you this much. I think I may have picked up Twitter followers today, because when you walk around with your Twitter handle on the back of your shirt,
Oh,
people
yeah.
are like, I don't know you, but I'm going to follow you now.
Yes.
They're looking at your ass.
Just compliments of you.
Her calves and her ass, all
You're welcome.
compliments.
There you go.
Farm Pit Mama. Great. Well,
You
Corey,
should
why
just
don't
wear one of these on your ass.
I
Put
know.
a
People
QR
just
code
like-
back there.
Well, I had a guy ask me for my card, and I'm like, I don't have a card.
Oh, you better get
you
those.
I'm
got to
like,
get one of those.
What is that?
It's a dot.
Yeah, I use the dot.
scan
Let
it?
me
So
show
go ahead and wrap the show up, Corey, and
Yep.
then we'll show them what the dot
Crack a
is.
Busch Light beer. Maybe put a little pickle juice in it. You deserve it.